like spring in Calgary is taking its effect, as the weather's been up and down over the past few days. We've been getting snow and sun, so the asphalt's relatively warm, but it's snowing right now, so the asphalt is melting the snow. We've got a wet surface to work with, so yeah, we're gonna head out for some training. Look at all that snow. There's spray and everything. It's not exactly torrential wet, but there's plenty of snow to go around. So we just arrived. Still snowing. Okay, so usually to start off with training, we start out with circles just to get warmed up, get everything in place, troubleshoot anything that, like something that's too tight or an elbow slider that's falling off. Then we move into drills like figure eights, and then finally near the end of the session we can work on other very important things like using the rear brake or really hard drills like snails and beans. Yeah, so the conditions, the front feels a little bit slippier than usual. Yeah, we're gonna do some more figure eights now. Maybe working to some snails, transition drills, maybe a track. Some of this weather is just perplexing me. Over there we've got steam because the sun's heating up all the water, and it's snowing at the same time. If you ever wanted to know what it's like to live here in Canada, then here you go. Very wet. The decision not to bring the wet boots is not a smart one. My feet are freezing, but it's wet practice and the weather is insane. You can see the engines steaming out. And by the way, it's still snowing. So when you're riding in the wet on these things, if you look down here, a lot of water gets stuck in the belly pan. One of the more satisfying things to do is to dump it out at the end of a good riding session. And by the way, it's sunny, but it's still snowing. And it's still steaming too. Rain riding's fun, but especially in a mucky parking lot like this, you get mud and gravel all over the bike. So when you get home, you just have to hose it down. Well, yeah, today we're just kind of getting more confidence in the wet. Of course, we've done training out here in the wet before. It's generally just about being smooth. On the back, if you try and slide, there's not really much room because the space between sliding and crashing is a lot smaller. So generally when you slide in the wet on these bikes, since they're so twitchy, you either crash or you save it. So you have to always keep the wheels quite in line. That's why riders like Jorge Lorenzo and Jack Miller do really well in the wet. It felt like my feet were in like a bath here.
They're kind of wet.
They're also muddy and dirty. Surprisingly enough, the asphalt's not even that cold. So yeah. So a quick tip for any road racers, any aspiring road racers going out rain riding or going ice riding, always bring 2 to 3 extra pairs of socks because your feet get soaked. Well, we just finished training. We're heading out now. Those are probably some of the craziest conditions I've ever trained in. So yeah.